we blame Montreal for this?
I mean, it's mostly their fault. Can we go back to the PC gaming show now? It's a fucking lion right there. What is happening? I'm gonna stop you. It's really important. You have a guy in a lion costume.
There's a panda.
What are you doing to me? And to Queen? You know, the new trailer for We Happy Few was a little bit different to the last one. I think we made a horrible mistake switching streams. Oh dear.
Shut up, Lana.
Potentially even uncomfortable for some of you.
I am already very uncomfortable right now.
Hello and welcome to everybody lucky enough to be sitting here in this theater and even
lucky.
What's actually happened is they've chained the doors. They can't escape.
I am Aisha Tyler. Some of you probably didn't shower.
Nerds. They're smelly.
Why do I continue to do this conference?
That is a question I would ask you. Not maybe in the same way that you would intend to take it, but I'm afraid they're turning Ghost Recon into another open world side quest, get the objectives, climb the towers kind of game. What do you think? It's Just Cause. Look at it. Just Cause, only slightly, I don't know, sandier.
Copy that. Need any help?
Nah, oh god, it's Ubisoft's fake voice actor co-op gameplay again. They will not stop doing this for some reason.
Oh, gotcha.
We're gonna make it feel real.
Just move upstairs.
Tactical extraction. No, I don't want chocolate milk right now.
Got a car out there? No, something better. You ready?
Nobody talks this way.
I'm not gonna hold on at all.
Well, because he's badass. He's a tactical ghost operative.
Yeah, using his butt cheeks to,
Mom,
hold on.
No, Mom, I can't save the game. This isn't Mario. How the hell did he get that?
Stole the warthog.
It's like Bolivia now with the warthogs. Hey, what? Oh, it's a tower! It's a radio tower! There's several towers!
Oh, snap. Snap, we just went
You know it's an Ubisoft. There's spotting, there's radio towers. Fucking perfect. Mom, no. I'm playing with my internet friends. I mean, this is basically a simplified co-op MGS5, right? That's what we're seeing here.
And you can tell this is definitely like Bolivia, because, you know, in America, we would have already had, like, 2 police officers at our door complaining about our drones.
Neighbors are very upset. They think you're peeping on them. If you ask me what are, like, the top 3 E3 trends that I'd like to see go away, I think the fake co-op VoIP would be top of the list at this point.
Yeah, look pretty nasty.
Do you remember Ghost Recon used to be about, you know, tactical shooting?
Yeah.
Not Grand Theft Auto? This is Just Cause. This is not Ghost Recon anymore. I'm sorry. Like,
Your franchise is dead.
I can certainly see why this would be enjoyable, certainly with the right group of people. Totally.
It's got the wrong name.
I do dig games like this, but this is not Ghost Recon anymore. Conveniently, we hit a chopper in this exact location. Why not just hijack the train while you're on? This is basically a more boring A-team. Very stealthy, tactical Spec Ops agents. The entire country now knows you're here. Is he driving with those gloves on? That seems very impractical. I mean, you get really sweaty. Well, Ghost Recon is dead. I'm sorry, as a franchise, it is now buried. Ubisoft has become a massive fan of murder lately, you noticed?
And guns.
They really do like that.
Who will take them?
Oh,
what? That... You sneaky bastards! They got me. They fucking got me completely with that. Well played. Well played. We don't get to talk over Trey Parker and Matt Stone, I don't think. I think that's heresy.
What's going on in the fractured butthole?
There are ways to find out. You've single-handedly saved the Ubisoft conference. Well done. I'm not even a big South Park fan, and I appreciate this.
You know, what kind of superhero are you?
Please still have Jew.
No,
I didn't see
show us
Jew.
more.
I think they've taken Jew away. Can you just stay forever, please? Stay forever, please. You're much better than everything else Ubisoft has. Can we get a hashtag Where's the Jew going, by the way? Is that a thing we can do right now?
That couldn't possibly be a bad idea, could it?
I mean, I just feel like I have this power, and without abusing that power, the power is pointless. Hashtag Where's the Jew? This looks phenomenal. When we first started watching South Park about 30 years ago, did you ever believe this would happen?
No, because basically I remember getting suspended from school from wearing a South Park t-shirt. And I just thought, no one's ever going to tolerate this.
How is this series still around, and how is it still making good shit? This is actually more tactical than Ghost Recon. And I'm actually not joking about that either. Sometimes I love video games. Sometimes.
And now we have some exciting news. And now we have some exciting news. And now we have some exciting news.
No, don't go! We'll have to deal with Ubisoft's bullshit now. Well, now the show can only go downhill from there.
The division.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Massive entertainment.
More like massively disappointing, am I right? Why don't they hire me to host these shows? I've got all the jokes.
We love this world. You love this world. We're going to keep on making it better.
Okay, first one may very well be true. I would have loved the world. The world is not the problem with The Division. You know, it is a beautifully realized empty space. That's the problem.
I have a lot of feelings.
They let us do this. But
I have a lot of feelings. Most of them, I admit, are negative. Oh, snow, our only weakness. I like the idea that there's no water when there's literally 2 feet of snow on the ground. What exactly do you think snow is?
My name's Carsten Myhill, and I'm going to talk you through, for the first time ever at E3...
I am the most British man you've ever heard.
And it's Olivier for the blue team.
Do you want me to do a little bit better commentary for you there, mate? All right, I've never played this game before, but here we go. And here we have a bird. It has scored a point, and that is a wonderful thing. The blue team won 2-0 in this best-of-3 flappery series right here for the World Grab, whatever the fuck that is, Cup. Incredible moves right here from Andre, a very experienced veteran here in the Flappy Bird series. He has played Flappy Bird for over 37 years. His mother thought it was a waste of time. His father disowned him decades ago, and yet here he is proving once again that his dedication to this art form was the right thing to do. He is achieving his dreams right here, staring into the sky with a large black box attached to his face. There are birds, there are dead birds, this is a bird massacre. We are seeing the D-Day of birds right here on the live stage.
Don't ask me how the rabbit got up there.
That is a great question. As to how the rabbit got up there, it was a combination of contrivance and strange, anomalous physics. We don't know why. The game's in pre-alpha. You're just going to have to bear with us at this point. For some reason, these birds can fight and fire sonic weaponry. We don't know why. We don't know how it happened. But video games...
But Jason, when the rabbit gets the final score, no! Vicky with the steal.
I just want to point out that somebody said Jason with the rabbit gets the final steal for the first and last time in human history. That is unlikely to ever happen again. You are witnessing history in the making here, right here on Ubisoft's E3 live stream. The future of sports entertainment is in front of you at this time. A technological marvel. Why are the trees dead? Nobody knows. They died from excitement. I couldn't blame them. I am having heart palpitations right at this very moment. This is France. This is a realistic interpretation of France, ladies and gentlemen. What a wonderful event we've just experienced. You missed the bird game.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You didn't miss much of the bird game.
You can be a bird, or...
You're a bird with sonic attacks and you're sort of fighting over a rabbit for some reason in virtual reality. Nobody knows why, nobody knows how. He was going for the arse there, you saw it, didn't you? He was thinking about it, and then he thought, she'll kill me. Literally. Oh, this is the fucking Star Trek game! They're doing Star Trek VR. You get to be on the fucking bridge, but it's the JJ-verse.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I have dreamed of this game since, like, I was fucking 6 years old. So I am fully prepared to be disappointed. Fuck yes. I am geeking the fuck out at this point. And
I can't snark about this.
No, I can't. It's not possible. I don't even care if it's JJ-verse. Just give it to me. Immediately. Where's the button to reroute power from the deflector dish? That's a solution to all life's problems. Hang on, you didn't say your hull was down to 20%. There's not enough exploding consoles for that to be true. Can I have it now? I mean, I'm going to assume this thing actually does have online multiplayer, because realistically speaking, most people are not going to own 4 fucking Oculus headsets. Nor the 4 PCs required to run them. Well, that's nice pre-rendered something. Oh, it's just For Honor by the looks of it, isn't it? Either that or the Division has gone in a really weird direction lately.
Apollyon and her Blackstone legions crave a world where trust is impossible.
Can this guy be my DM?
He needs, like, to be an extra on Game of Thrones or something.
Sorry, an extra. He needs to be the main character.
I'd like you to meet. I'd like you to meet our game director on For Honor, Roman Campos Oriola. Come on out, Roland.
No, we want
We want
you.
you. Could we replace Aisha Taylor with you, please? You are amazing. But I like it when large studios and publishers like let little in-house projects happen. I mean, fuck, that's why we got Hearthstone. Plus, it probably stops people from going absolutely insane at development houses where they're making the same game over and over again.
If your development house is only making violence, violence, and violence...
Well, more specifically, the same kind of violence as well, you know?
Then,
violence can be used in so many different ways, but Ubisoft has yet to discover that.
Right. So when that is all that your studio is making for a while, it can be nice to be like, you know, hey, warm fuzzies? Can we make some warm fuzzies?
Yeah, it's called Grow Up. That's adorable. I'm intrigued. It can't be any more cringeworthy than Monday Night Raw.
Hello, I'm Antti Elvessuo, the creative director of Trials and also president of Finland.
I'm willing to believe him.
With a beard like that,
I'm
yes,
willing to
you
believe
are.
him. What is happening here?
I don't know.
Trials and Blood Dragon made baby together.
Oh, what?
But why? For what reason?
My
God.
That's the team that doesn't get invited to the party.
They must have a lot of dirt on the CEO to be allowed to pull this shit.
The game will be released as soon as this conference ends, about 30 minutes from now.
As if people needed another reason to wish the conference ended early.
FAO was back together, guys, so that was nice. All right.
I mean, okay, then. Sure. Why not?
Guys, this is Ubisoft. And there is, yes it is, my friends, and there is no UBE3 experience without a deep dive into Assassin's Creed.
Oh, bloody hell.
And I know this.
And that's probably going to be the rest of the
special
conference,
because
isn't it?
Assassin's Creed is about to go super multi-platform. Here to talk about the upcoming Assassin's Creed movie. Please join me in welcoming
I mean, I'm going to be honest. You know, we saw the trailer to this before we saw the Warcraft movie.
We did.
And the trailer looked pretty cool. What I was trying to figure out with the Assassin's Creed movie is how do you build tension when you're supposed to
die
when
in
you're
the
supposed,
Animus.
you know, yeah, if the Animus is the same as it is in the video games, you can't die in the Animus. So how exactly are you building tension in any way unless you're going with the whole Desmond outside of the Animus thing, which is the most boring part of the whole game.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work.
trying to replicate that in the real world.
Is there something, you know, there's something very fillatory about showing those kind of tweets. I knew we were going to get movie stuff. That's probably a bad thing. Butterfly Samurai with one T.
We have a real story, and it has an arc that goes all the way to the end. And you're
wow.
I call that's what
that's a story, right? That's the definition
beginning,
of a story.
a middle, and an end.
Impressive. Truly impressive.
And there's an arc that carries throughout.
Well, I've been convinced to see it.
That's incredible.
Is it? How would it be incredible exactly? Isn't that how?
Get that Steadicam out of the
What
way.
bloody hell are you
What
doing,
are you
mate?
doing?
Where's he go? He's fucking bad. He's
What?
a magician.
Where did he
He's
go?
a wizard.
Nothing, come on.
I can't tell you anything, which is why. What's the point in you even being here?
So play a lot of Assassin's Creed before then, so it's all inside of you when you go to see the movie. And now, for your viewing enjoyment.
No. On all levels, no. This is the cool bit, but apparently 65% of the movie is not going to be that. It's Watch Dogs, all right.
Please hype this one up as much as the last one, and then also make the driving suck.
Let's not hype this one up anywhere near as much.
I was so disappointed.
It was probably one of the biggest disappointments of all time outside of Spore. It also looks like Ubisoft the game again.
Mm-hmm.
Everything around you can be acted in creative ways.
That's what you said about the last one.
Yep.
This isn't really convincing me that it's going to be any better than the last one.
Yeah, it doesn't seem any different, really.
Outside of your role, you know, bear in mind, I kind of remember that. What was the name of the protagonist in the first one? Aiden? Something
Yeah.
Aiden? He was probably the most boring and unlikable protagonist in a game I've ever seen.
But for now, let's just
Power to the oh my god, you are Reddit the video game. I like how they cut the driving.
Of course
Probably
they did.
for the best,
I wonder
considering
why.
the last game.
You can see the whole city from here.
Really?
I've been told that's at the top of buildings.
Turns out getting on tall buildings allows you to do that. Who knew? Has anyone told you you look really stupid? I can't imagine why people aren't convinced by your political rhetoric when you dress like that. This is Year of the Drone for Ubisoft, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Every
is.
game must have it. I heard there's even one in Just Dance. They have 40 cakes.
Let us access Marcus before it all gets wiped.
I'll get you inside the system.
Don't you think maybe it's a bad idea to have the illegal deletion of evidence and files on a giant fucking screen that anybody could very easily see through the window?
Super realistic. Be quiet, you.
This looks exactly the same as the last one.
Yeah, it does.
It really does.
Maybe it's actually like going to be fixed this time, though.
What do you want to be better about it? Outside of the driving, obviously.
Like, it's the whole idea was like, here you can hack anything, you can do anything. No, you can only do the things to the stuff that you want us to. You know, it's the illusion of the freedom.
Like
you
it
know?
really just felt to me like GTA with a few wizard powers.
I felt like I was guided a lot.
Yeah. The whole idea of freedom and being able to create real chaos was completely just not true in Watch Dogs.
I guess I just expected too much because the hype train was so...
Well, it's their fault that you expected that because they showed you a bunch of stuff you couldn't do. A lot of it turned into just shooting people. Like, despite being a hacker, you're apparently also a weapons expert. You know what would be really good? And I doubt they'll do this in this game, although right now it does look like they're doing that because it doesn't look like he's armed or whatever. That if you were actually just a hacker, you weren't an elite spec ops guy that can take down 100 guys. Because what's the point in having cool hacking powers
if you don't use them?
If you don't use them, because you've just got a silenced gun, which is just, if not more, effective. As soon as you give somebody a gun and you make somebody good at it, then you basically make all other choices obsolete. You would have thought if you were going to do a kind of hacking thing that you wouldn't put it on every single screen. You'd be a little bit more, I don't know, covert than that. And he's got a submachine gun. Of course he does. He's a weapons expert. He's a hand-to-hand expert, a stealth expert, an elite hacker. He's literally perfect in every way.
A jack of all trades.
And master of all of them. I don't know why we're applauding that. That's just another Ubisoft open world game. It doesn't look any more engaging than the first one.
PlayStation owners will have access to all Watch Dogs 2 DLCs 30 days before they're released on any other platform.
Wow, that's incredible.
Oh, what?
Why are you applauding that? How is that in any way a good thing? So, hey, everyone else is screwed.
We slept with them more than the other platform.
I will never
did.
understand an audience not booing every announcement of that.
Action sports with a fully explorable open world.
It's
So
another bloody open world
game.
Obvious sponsorship is obvious. Please say that this is Ski Free 2, Ski Harder. I'd sort of like to know how this is a new genre when things like SSX exist. You know, just adding an open world to it doesn't make it a new genre. So it's sort of a open world, social-ish action sports game. I mean, we have had quite a lot of extreme sports games before. The effort to mash them all together into one experience is interesting. I don't think that's a new genre. I think he was kind of talking out of his arse there.
Your friend just died.
You're dead!
So...
You're seriously dead!
Where's the fun in this game again? I'm sorry.
Well, the next bit is a memorial service activity that you have to do.
I guess.
So apparently to play online with your friends is to never talk to them.
Another person just died.
Thousands of casualties.
Let you watch your friend's death over and over.
So this is a bit extreme sports narcissism simulator, from
Pretty
what I
much.
can tell. It's like, watch me show off, holy crap, look at the size of my penis. He's dead. That's the neck. He's gone.
Yeah.
Social networking.
Share all of these
Share
tricks.
everything
Share
for
all
the
these
love
moments.
of God. Watch me do everything.
Watch me do everything.
We can't play, and I realize how hypocritical this is. We can't play video games anymore without people watching every bloody thing we do, or without showing off and sharing everything that we do. Yep, you're dead too. Everybody's dead. Everybody's dead, Dave. They've managed to incorporate intense violence into a sports game. It's impressive, I gotta admit. Obviously, this game isn't aimed at us, you know, as sort of core gamers, that we're clearly not the demographic for this.
I climb mountains. I don't extreme down them.
I think, you know, we're definitely just not the demographic for it.
Like the end of Saturday Night Live, only all the game devs have not been drinking for hours.
I was about to say only less funny, but it is Saturday Night Live, so maybe that's not true.
Can it do with the awesome voice and beard stay?
I mean, if it just presented the entire thing, I would have been much more impressed.
And this is people running from the Ubisoft conference
As fast as possible.
Since they were finally unchained from their chairs.
They were asked to play Far Cry Primal and they ran screaming from the room. Can we name a game today that didn't have some sort of parkour element in it? They certainly make a lot of the same games, so let me put it that way. There was definitely some highlights, though. I mean, South Park looks great. For Honor looks really cool. Obviously, the sequel to Grow Home looks pretty awesome as well. That Trials game looks...
Oh, shit, we got the wrong game.
Don't tease us like that. Looks interesting. It was a very mixed bag, though. In an extremely cringy show in many ways. The kind of thing that I would expect from E3. Not a big surprise there.
And then the stream goes to hell.
Indeed, it's being hacked by DeadSec. Very self-indulgent on Ubisoft's part, certainly.
And do that shit!
Watch it, precisely. Would you like us to do? I need more specific instructions if we're going to be doing that shit. Are you aware of the kind of shit that you would like us to do?
No.
No, you weren't told?
I was not informed.
I mean, I was expecting to get some sort of instruction, a memo, perhaps. Didn't really get one.
Evite, something.
Yeah, something like that. Facebook group? Or grup? What is a grup? I just don't know.
Of the infamous DJ Khaled.
No, infamous DJ Khaled, thank you very much. Right, okay, right. Well, that was lengthy.
Yes.
It showed some video games were involved, no doubt about that.
Yes.
Very mixed bag. Yep.
Highlight South Park.
South Park,
I think.
definitely. Yep. For Honor also looks pretty great.
Not my kind of game, but I can appreciate sort of what they're trying to do with it.
Yes,
I really
absolutely.
don't know about the single player. Was it an afterthought? Is it actually
looks a bit
fleshed
tacked
out?
on.
Yeah. I don't know how much story is actually going to be there. It doesn't seem like much from the surface of what we've seen.
It doesn't. It looks sort of very much an afterthought. You know, that game has been presented for the longest time as a multiplayer game, so it's cool to include a single-player campaign, but I always feel like I would rather have all the time committed to a great multiplayer experience instead of having a tacked-on single-player that takes some development time and resources just to tick a box, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm not so interested in the single-player component of it. I'm hoping it's good, obviously. I'm gonna say that I think Wildlands is basically the end of what we knew as Ghost Recon. You know, it's not even recognizable.
I like what we saw of it, but it isn't Ghost Recon. Like it's not. But I don't hate it.
No, I think it will be a reasonable game. I'm just thinking at this point, it's nothing like what we remember. It's weird because again, we see this amalgamation of all of these games from Ubisoft, where they're becoming so similar to each other in many ways. Now, really, is there a huge difference between something like Ghost Recon and Watch Dogs?
No,
you know?
not
both
really.
open world games, both with that co-op element, both, hey, grab a car, do this, do some crazy stuff. You can approach the objective any way you want. Now, outside of theme, they're in many ways
Reskins of each other.
I mean, I don't like the term reskin.
I know you hate that.
I hate that term. But I think they use the same philosophy. You know? I think that's maybe the core DNA and the core philosophy of those games.
They
are the
have
same.
an inherent fear of restricting their players.
But in doing that, they restrict them to playing the same game with a different hat every time. Which is, I guess, the inherent irony of that. Obviously, Star Trek VR looks awesome.
That looks cool.
I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they can do with that. I'm hoping it's a great experience.
I'm worried about like how limited it could possibly be.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Again, like what you brought up earlier about the multiplayer online, like, you know, if that is not what their idea is, if their idea is literally, hey, you must have 3 Oculus sets.
I refuse to believe they would be that stupid. The game's clearly going to have online play.
The thing is that if they did require that, you would get it. You would do it. You would do it just for that game.
Possibly.
I know you would.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where, you know, Ubisoft in particular has been milking the desire of there's the average audience to play a lot of open world games. Because I've said this before. It reminds me when I did that video about Mad Max. I said, why is there such a disconnect between critics and gamers when it comes to open world games? That people view open world games as having a lot of value because there's like, oh, there's so much to do.
Right.
But in my opinion, the quality level of what you can do in those games is so low and so repetitive that I don't view it that way. I would prefer a quality experience, and I often don't get that with an Ubisoft open world game.
Like, I understand, like, if it were open world survival, it's kind of different because you can populate resources, you can populate mobs everywhere, things that don't really mean a whole lot. But when it comes to story and stuff like that, I don't know, specific missions, I just don't know if open world is actually required.
I just don't think open world in many ways is good. I think open world is an excuse to create a world that is populated by fairly mundane actions, but give you that illusion of freedom. I mean, do you really have freedom in a game like Watch Dogs? Really, you're so limited in what you can actually do in a game like that I don't think you do. I really don't. And I think that the open world aspect of it is a smokescreen for all of that. And nobody, Ubisoft in particular, doesn't want us to see what's behind the curtain.
Right.
Which is very little. It's a small man in a small hat, really, is what's behind the curtain there. I'm getting...
What is this music?
It's a Tecmo Bowl Touchdown Hoedown from OC Remix.
Oh my.
Would you like me to change it?
It's very distracting.
Is it? Okay, let's see what else we can find. Here you go. Here's some Final Fantasy for you. Bad Octopus. There we go.
So much better. So much better.
I mean, I've had a problem with the way that Ubisoft develops games really for years in the way that they've gone all in on the same... It's not just open world, it's the same kind of open world. All the time, with the same principles, the same mechanics, just repurposed for a different theme. I'm getting very tired of it. But evidently, everybody else is not. They're still selling very well.
I like my open world games, but not... The problem is we get too many games to play.
Yes.
And they all come out in the same kind of opening window.
Oh god, November's going to be a nightmare.
And it's just like,
again.
How many open world games can we possibly play in November? I mean, because they're so big, they're so massive, and that's the idea is, we have all the scale to offer you. And it's just like, no, you just make the game so long that I have to spend... 60 hours playing you, and before I move on to the next thing that
and
also
how many
came
of
out in
those
November?
hours were like genuinely high quality hours?
Right, and
for
how
you?
many were you just poking around, seeing what you could do within the limitations that they actually had in place?
Fairly intense usually.
Again, illusion of choice.
Yeah, and honestly, it's driving around doing side quests and being a completionist for the sake of being a completionist.
Right,
all
and
the time.
I am a completionist.
And you know what? That's how they get you.
Yeah,
they
I
say
know.
there's so much in these games, and you say you got 60 hours. A lot of people view that as great value for a $60 game. 60 hours of gameplay, that's great.
Not always.
But
no.
not if the gameplay was not high quality. Not if a lot of that time was wasted doing pointless, mundane, repetitive tasks.
Right.
A lot of that this year from Ubisoft. A lot of that from Ubisoft last year. Occasional flashes of interesting stuff, inspiration, but a lot of the same. From them.
What did you make of Trials Blood Dragon?
I mean, it's cool that they're doing a really silly, wacky thing, including combat in a Trials game is thoroughly bizarre.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued, but simultaneously, there's also been like 4 or 5, actually more than that, Trials games already.
It is odd.
It is, but when Ubisoft gets hold of a title, a new IP, they spend years just running it into the ground, beating every last ounce out of that dead horse, and Trials is starting to feel like that to me. Even with the wacky, crazy crossover they've got going on right here, it still feels that way. And it's so sad that it's feeling that way to me, that it's starting to feel so tired. I don't want to feel that way.
That is exactly what I was going to say, actually, is tired. Tired is the word that, just kind of stuck with me after watching that. It's like, this is too try-hard, and...
It did seem like they were trying to be funny with that one.
Right,
a bit too much.
Really over the top, and...
Yeah.
I don't know, for some people it might have paid off. For some people they might actually be interested in something that they otherwise would not have initially thought to check out, but... hey, it's out now, right? Because it's after the conference.
It is. Apparently, it's out now for like $12 or $15 or something like that.
Right. So
the thing is, I think we sit in a position that is not representative of the majority of people because these games do sell millions of copies every single time. They're obviously appealing to the average gamer. It's just, for someone that has played so many of these, you see the repetition, you see the cloning. It's like watching an old cartoon and seeing the repeated backgrounds as they travel through, you know? You see behind that curtain and you're sick of it. You want new experiences, you want interesting experiences, and if you want that, Ubisoft is generally not the company to go to. So I suppose that's kind of that. It wasn't as boring as the EA conference, but it's simultaneously
a lot of talking.
It was self-indulgent in many ways. It was wordy. It was cringe-worthy in so many different ways. Which, to be fair, Ubisoft has got very good at making cringe-worthy conferences. I almost think they do it on purpose these days. They certainly get people talking about them, no doubt about that.
Oh yeah.
Really knows how to make an awkward situation hilarious. I think she creates a lot of those awkward situations, honestly. But yeah. Isn't it great?
This music.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful remix. Yes. I think that the conclusion would be to say, that sure was Ubisoft, all right.
Yes, it was.
That was Ubisoft. Well, folks, thank you very much for sticking in through that with us. Over 36,000 concurrent viewers at any given time today. That's been amazing. We're not done. We have one more panel to go. Maybe the most self-indulgent.
Sony.
Sony has a tendency to be very self-indulgent, and considering what happened at the end of the Microsoft conference with the Project Scorpio announcement,
I think we're going to see something else.
Sony's going to whip it out as well, I think. You know, we're going to whip them out and compare them. We're going to see whose is bigger.
Sony will probably wiggle it around a bit.
I mean, their conference is probably... Their conference is usually almost 3 hours. They're going to wiggle it around a lot, let me put it that way.
Much to our dismay.
Much to our dismay, no doubt. Wow. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, my name has been TotalBiscuit.
And I'm Jenna.
And thank you very much for watching the Snarkathon. That's 3 panels in a row. I'm sorry that we had to cut the PC Gamer panel in favor of dancing lions and pandas, but as it shall be. There we go. We will be back in 2 hours, 50 minutes for the Sony panel, which will be the final panel of our E3 Snarkathon coverage. Thank you very much for watching. And apologies to all the talented developers that we just took a great big dump over for your entertainment. Keeping E3 in check, let's put it that way. I think Jim Sterling said it best earlier, that E3 is so far up its own arse that somebody needs to point and laugh at it from time to time, no doubt. Thank you very much for watching, folks. We'll be back in about 2 hours, 50 minutes. I'm gonna get a shower. I am disgusting. A disgusting nerd right now. Goodbye.